Right now, your sleeping brain is literally pruning old connections. This is not passive downtime. It is active architectural demolition on a microscopic level. Think of the immense network in your skull like an overgrown city that accumulates metabolic clutter and inefficient pathways every single waking hour. Deep slow-wave sleep is when specialized cellular workers arrive to perform system maintenance, selectively tearing down unnecessary synaptic traffic jams. This necessary process, called homeostatic synaptic downscaling, optimizes neural efficiency and prevents runaway excitation over time. It is not just cleaning up. It is optimizing the hardware itself for peak performance tomorrow. But optimizing connections is only half the story. To make those pruned pathways work efficiently, you need a complete system reset. This is not just about cutting dead wires. It involves deep structural remodeling supported by your brain's maintenance crew. During these high-amplitude delta wave moments, specialized cells known as glia spring into action. They are clearing metabolic waste products using the glymphatic system, which is like an internal plumbing service running through your neural tissue while you sleep. This clearance prevents buildup and inflammation, ensuring that when the network reforms itself in those deep, slow waves, it does so cleanly and without pathological drag. But achieving perfect synaptic reorganization is not just about clocking enough hours in bed. If your body is still running on sympathetic overdrive, this entire high-fidelity process gets corrupted. It is like trying to execute a massive system reboot while the internal power supply is unstable. You get errors, not efficiency. These deep delta states need specific preconditions to happen reliably. That means shifting your autonomic tone before sleep begins. When we activate that parasympathetic vagal brake state in preparation for rest, we optimize the metabolic environment inside the brain itself. This precise somatic priming allows those critical network restructuring phases to fire exactly as they should, which means something nobody expected for consistent neurological upgrade cycles. That precise priming shifts the entire internal neurochemistry for structural upgrade cycles. It dictates how it gets executed at the cellular level. When your system achieves peak parasympathetic balance, you optimize the GABAergic inhibition needed to precisely silence chaotic firing patterns. Simultaneously, you maintain a specific low-level glutamatergic activity which acts like the quality control check, ensuring only inefficient connections are tagged for removal. It is this precise interplay of inhibitory and excitatory systems that determines network fidelity itself. Some researchers argue this pruning process may be too dependent on wakeful behavioral factors to show such sharp rhythmic changes. What does imply? The next level shows us the metabolic fuel requirement behind all this elegant molecular demolition. If this pruning process demands such specific neurochemical orchestration, it requires an insane amount of energy. We're talking about cellular demolition. The machinery responsible for synaptic refinement burns massive amounts of power during those delta wave phases. The ultimate gatekeeper to efficient network restructuring is mitochondrial integrity. Think of your brain as a city requiring constant high-intensity construction and teardown cycles, all fueled by perfect energy output. When oxidative stress compromises the health of these cellular power plants, that precise molecular cleanup stalls out. You get errors instead of elegance because there is not enough sustained ATP to run the system at peak fidelity. The deep cleansing we discussed earlier involves more than just removing metabolic trash. It is about actively deconstructing old information architectures within your brain's wiring. Think of your existing neural pathways not as fixed roads, but as outdated operating systems filled with bugs and legacy data that slow down processing power. The slowing activity during sleep allows specialized support cells to begin a massive pattern demolition project. They are wiping the slate clean, not just clearing clutter, enabling true remapping potential. But here is where it gets complex. This system is not entirely autonomous. It seems highly responsive to subtle inputs outside of simple duration in bed. What signal dictates which patterns get kept and which must be permanently discarded? The signal is not some magical internal switch. It is ultimately tied to your body's energy currency. The selective demolition process hinges on how efficiently your cells are running and whether they perceive immediate chronic stress. If metabolic chaos reigns or if inflammation is high, the system defaults to maintenance mode instead of active restructuring. This means you need a specific biological window for pruning, a state where mitochondrial output is pristine and systemic arousal is low enough for that delicate synaptic scaling to occur properly. The single most effective input is not longer sleep. It is maximizing metabolic coherence in the hours leading up to rest, ensuring your internal operating system is stable before the deep cycle begins. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. The evidence is undeniable. Your sleep is not merely passive. It is an intense, energy-demanding process of architectural refinement governed by precise molecular timing. You're not just recovering. You are systematically optimizing your brain's wiring for higher function tomorrow. The key takeaway is that consistent neurological upgrade cycles require a disciplined focus on the period. Stop focusing only on sleep duration itself. Start obsessively tuning pre-sleep autonomic inputs and metabolic stability to ensure those delicate synaptic downscaling events fire with maximum fidelity. Master the setup, and you master the cellular cleanup crew. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.